The desolate stretch of Interstate 90 in eastern Montana seemed to go on forever. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the vast plains. John, a weary traveler, felt the need to take a break from the monotonous road. He pulled his car to the side, gravel crunching beneath the tires, and stepped out into the quiet dusk. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of sagebrush and solitude. The only sounds were the distant hum of crickets and the occasional rustle of the wind through the dry grass. As John strolled along the roadside, he kicked at the dirt absent-mindedly. That's when he noticed something unusual near the edge of the highway, an old, withered sword lying in the dirt. Puzzled, John bent down and picked up the relic. It was a saber, its blade dulled with age, and its hilt adorned with intricate engravings. He wondered how such a historical artifact ended up discarded in the middle of nowhere. The sword felt heavy in his hand, carrying the weight of a forgotten era. As John examined the sword, an eerie stillness settled over the landscape. The sun had fully set, and the moon cast a soft glow on the plains. He felt a sudden chill, and the air seemed charged with a mysterious energy. Unsettled, he decided to return to his car and continue the journey. As John drove through the lonely highway, the moonlit landscape unfolded before him. The radio crackled with static, and the occasional distant howl of a coyote added to the surreal ambience. He couldn't shake off the feeling that the sword had brought with it an otherworldly presence. Hours later, John decided to pull over at a rest area. The night was now deep, and the only illumination came from the glow of the stars overhead. He lay down in the back seat of his car, the sword beside him, and attempted to get some rest. In the quiet darkness, John was suddenly jolted awake by the distant sounds of hooves and gunfire. He sat up, heart pounding, as the echoes of a battle reverberated through the stillness. The air shimmered with an ethereal glow, and a figure emerged from the shadows, a ghostly soldier dressed in a tattered uniform. The soldier's face was withered, bearing the marks of a life lived in hardship. His eyes, though vacant, held a haunted expression. John stared in disbelief as the soldier approached, his spectral form surrounded by a soft, blue aura. The ghostly soldier raised his hand, gesturing towards the sword that lay beside John. The air seemed to vibrate with a silent message, and John realized that the sword connected him to the soldier's restless spirit. As if guided by an unseen force, John picked up the saber and felt a surge of energy coursing through him. The soldier's ghost nodded approvingly, as if acknowledging John's newfound connection to the weapon. With a sudden burst of ethereal light, the soldier faded away, leaving John alone in the quiet darkness. From that night on, John found himself drawn to the sword and the ghostly soldier. The encounters became more frequent, each time revealing glimpses of the soldier's past. He learned that the saber once belonged to a cavalryman who fought in the Battle of Little Bighorn. Haunted by the events of that historic clash, the soldier's spirit remained tethered to the weapon. The sword, discarded on the desolate highway, acted as a beacon, drawing John into the soldier's world. Together, they revisited the echoes of the past, the battle unfolding before them like a ghostly tableau. As John delved deeper into the soldier's memories, he began to understand the weight of the past that bound the restless spirit. The Battle of Little Bighorn had been a devastating defeat for the cavalry, and the soldier's lingering presence spoke of the trauma and unfinished business that held him in the mortal realm. In his waking moments, John continued his journey along Interstate 90, the sword a constant companion. The soldier's ghost became a silent guardian, appearing at the edge of his vision whenever he stopped to rest or refuel. The ethereal presence offered both solace and a reminder of the soldier's unfulfilled destiny. One night, as John parked his car near the Little Bighorn battlefield, he felt a surge of energy emanating from the sword. The soldier's ghost materialized, more vivid than ever. The air crackled with a potent energy as the ghostly figure raised his hand, the saber glowing with an otherworldly light. With a sudden burst of ethereal power, the soldier merged with the sword, becoming a part of the ancient weapon. John watched in awe as the sword transformed, its blade now gleaming with a radiant blue hue. The soldier's presence lingered in the air, a sense of closure and release washing over the battlefield. From that moment on, the encounter ceased, and the soldier's ghost found peace within the sword. John, left with a profound connection to the past, continued his journey with a newfound sense of purpose. The saber, now a symbol of resilience and redemption, rested in the back seat of his car as he drove into the unknown, the echoes of history fading into the vast expanse of the Montana plains.